So unfortunately, again, we have another mass shooting. And already I see the news agencies and the leftists and the Democrats coming out and screaming, gun control, gun control. Well, the problem is there already is gun control. Schools are effectively gun-free zones. So all that we've done is told teachers and principals and parents that they're not allowed to bring guns onto school property. All the while, this mentally ill child decided to grab a gun, go to a school, and kill a bunch of kids where he knew that people didn't have guns to defend themselves. Now they're going to look at us and tell us that they need to restrict your rights, the law-abiding, because of this crazy idiot who decided that they wanted to be evil and take human life. I know in your emotion, this might sound like a logical approach. We just need to take guns out of the equation. Unfortunately, this logic is about the same as saying that we need to outlaw and take away vehicles because people drive drunk. It's the same thing. I don't know how many kids, how many families, how many people are taken away because of drunk drivers per year. The number's high. But you don't ever see them trying to regulate cars even more. You don't ever see them get on the news and tell you that we need to outlaw box trucks because in France a dude decided to run over a bunch of people. So the answer here isn't the object. It isn't the answer here isn't giving up more of your rights. The answer is putting guns in the hands of responsible and good people. Not even putting guns in people's hands, but just allowing them to access their God-given rights without threat of going to jail. I don't know how many teachers would. I can guarantee you that there are a good amount of teachers that are interested in arming themselves because they would protect themselves and protect the children that they teach if this were to happen. But right now, that's legally not possible. And I've heard these arguments. I was talking with someone yesterday, and they were like, well, yeah, but that's not their responsibility. Actually, it is. It's everybody's individual responsibility to take their own security into their own hands. You know, we have this notion that we can just ask some, middle-aged man with a family and his own kids to put his life on the line for us and our kids. And I just can't wrap my head around the fact that our society thinks that we have the right to ask someone else on the city payroll to risk their life for us and ours. And it's for sure, people have this apprehension for teachers carrying in school. And the thing is, any teacher could fly off the handle, bring a gun to school and start shooting fellow teachers and students. Any teacher could do that. But the thing is, with the way the laws are written right now, there's no response. Yeah, there's school resource officers, and that's great. But if teachers were legally allowed to access their rights, their God-given right to keep and bear arms, then a lot of this would probably not be a problem. But we have a government that, number one, doesn't want you to have guns because that's a threat to them. But number two, in typical fashion, they come in and they say, oh, well, guns are the problem. And we've had gun-free zones on schools for how many years now? And this seems to keep happening, if not... This seems to keep happening, and in fact, it seems to be getting worse. So they want us to do it even harder. So it's the same thing that the Nazis did. The Nazis came in to Germany, and they were like, hey, you know, we want to protect you better, so let's just register the guns, and then we'll know where they're at, and when crimes happen, then we can take those away from the criminals. Well, that didn't help. So then they came back and they said, hey, how about let's take away the guns? Because obviously this didn't work. And the people didn't have a choice because the Germans had a registry and they knew that you had a gun. And they said, turn in your gun and we'll give you some money, or you go to jail. So you can kind of see history trying to repeat itself. You're having people in their emotions saying, oh, take my rights, take my rights. And it's going to open the door to something way worse if we're not careful. The Second Amendment was enshrined in the Constitution for a reason, and that's because governments are prone to doing terrible things. So get armed, be the good guy in the crowd. Hopefully this never happens to you or around you, but in the case that it does, you need to be the good person with the gun. There's this whole fallacy that that more guns isn't going to solve the problem. But literally what happened is a bad guy went to this school with a gun. I think there was a resource officer. I'll have to look at the reports, but I'm seeing conflicting things. Some people say that the resource officer shot at the kid. Another report says that there was no exchange of gunfire with the kid. But either way, this kid went to a place where most people don't have guns. He started shooting up kids. And then what happened? They called more people with guns to come take care of this kid with a gun. So we're jumping over ourselves, and we're telling the teachers that they're not allowed to defend themselves. And then when this shit happens, we're calling more people with guns to take care of this bad guy with a gun. And you know, I'm glad that the Border Patrol was able to shoot this kid, but at the same time, like, why are we telling our teachers that their only option is to get slaughtered and wait for help? It's not right. So anyways, that's my 2 cents on the matter. Don't give up your rights. These people are chomping at the teeth for you to give them more power. And the power that we've given them, the responsibility we've given them of protecting our children, they've squandered it away, and they spend $1.6 billion on their own protection and leave your kids to die because they were able to manipulate you and your feelings and tell teachers that they're not responsible enough. So it is what it is, but it's pretty ridiculous. Anyways, thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Comment your thoughts down below, and I'll see you on the next one.